They explore the homegrown terrorism threat through the lens of the Atlanta Olympic bombing and its aftermath.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
This is the last one?
Listen to Flashpoint on America's
Yes, sir.
Network.
15 seconds to the open.
Flashpoint to start listening.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
And welcome into the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link. You can subscribe to the channel, and actually you should subscribe to the channel because that's how you get into the chat to join us in our conversations here today on part 3 of fixing the NFL Top 100 list. We've got 35 through 1 to get through today. We are back, and football is back. 2 preseason games in the NFL last night.
How many snaps of preseason football did you watch last night?
Way more than I should have.
Really? That is not where I thought you were going to go with that.
I watched way more of it. Well, see, here's the thing. The Olympics were over. So we had the afternoon off yesterday. So I went home after work, and I played a little college football 25, finished out my first road to glory, finally, finishing out the career, winning another national title for Oregon. And then after that, I caught the tail end of the basketball, caught up on all of the track and field stuff from yesterday in Paris. And then by that time, well, it was time. It was time for football. So I turned it on, and I watched a good portion of the beginning of the Carolina Panthers game, and then I turned it over to the Detroit Lions-Giants game for a while. And, yeah, I watched way too many snaps of preseason football that did not matter to anybody, including the teams that were on the field.
I watched 2 snaps of Lions-Giants. I saw Hendon Hooker go to the medical tent and went, well, that was the only thing in this game that I cared even just nary a little bit about.
Right.
Went to Carolina and New England. Saw just enough of Joe Milton to go, yeah, that's the guy I saw in Mobile. We can all stop pooing our pants over him immediately. Didn't happen, but if I read one more story of, is Joe Milton going to pass Drake May? Did we watch the same player? Do you know what you're looking at? Because I don't think you know what you're looking at. He threw a touchdown pass. Yeah, on a double move where the corner bit the corner bit on that double move as hard as tank bites on a Subway sandwich. And then he had to stop to catch the horribly underthrown pass from Joe Milton. And I went, yep, that's the guy. That's the one I saw.
And the corner that he made the throw on, is he even going to make a roster?
No.
No. That's kind of my point. You can get excited about, dudes putting up some numbers. And I saw the stat line for Hendon Hooker. It was good. I mean, he threw for like 36 yards or something, was like 9 of 15 or 5 of 9 or something, somewhere in that neighborhood. And then he rushed for another 35 yards. Awesome. And then he got hurt. And then you also have to remember that, well, he was playing against the dudes that won't even make this team.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of Panther fans today say, well, the offense looked terrible. Well, you were starting Jack Plummer. So
right. No one played. They didn't start any of the starters on offense.
Andy Dalton's hurt.
Right. Brandon. Where the hell did Brandon come from? Bryce Young, obviously not starting. I'm not throwing him out there when the offensive line's not out there. And Andy Dalton's hurt. And so you had Jack Plummer and Jake Luton.
And Jack Plummer's real name is actually Jack Davis. Plummer is his soon-to-be occupation.
Is that Jake's kid?
No.
No relation?
I can't tell you there's no relation, but it's not his kid.
It's not his kid. Okay. Yeah. First game of the preseason is underway. There's nothing really that you can take away from the action of last night. Nothing. There's no time to make any sweeping declarations about players. Drake May, North Carolina Tar Heel, number 3 pick in the draft. He did, get some action. Played 7 snaps after the game. Gerard Mayo said he's going to get many more snaps coming up in the second preseason game, but one of the reasons that he wasn't out there longer last night was because the starters came off the field. And I don't want my rookie out there in front of a makeshift offensive line.
Can I ask you a question? And I don't think I've ever asked you this. If I have, I don't remember, and I apologize.
Okay.
I think this every single year. Is there anything worse in sports television than the broadcast of preseason football? Because you get former player and the analyst that gets this one crack, and maybe in some instances they do some national games, but most of the time they don't.
Right.
They know they're broadcasting this only in the home market, except for people like us that have DC streams. Hit us up. We got you, bro. And so they have this super regionalized broadcast where it's all of these little nuggets of local humor. I was watching the Patriots game last night, and they had Devin and Jason McCourty commentating the game.
Yep.
They had a third with them, and I apologize. I didn't stick around long enough to figure out who it was.
No, I don't know.
They went for like 11 solid minutes of talking about some sandwich that was at a restaurant down the street. They did that for an entire drive.
That's nice.
Hey, get down to Calabasas. None of us know what you're talking about, stupid. They're playing this game on the NFL Network.
Right.
We don't live in clam chowder country, bro. Okay?
I mean, this would be great if I was actively living in Dedham, but no, I live many, many moons away from there.
Oh, it's so
It's
bad.
funny that you said that because I don't think I saw the portion of that you were talking about, but I did notice a lot that the McCourty twins were in the booth for the Panthers game. But I was watching the Fox Detroit feed on the DC streams, and it was some guy named John Ross III, I think was his name. He was the play-by-play guy. And then Golden Tate was his color commentator for the Lions game. And it was every bit of preseason football.
You don't realize how good national broadcasters are until you hear that.
I will promise you that John Ross III runs the social media team for the Detroit Lions. Kid's got a great voice, but it's clear that he just came out of school, and he has no broadcast rhythm, no nothing.
The rhythm, that's something you taught me. And I've started noticing that more and more. It's really obvious when they go to break and they just have absolutely no idea of, okay, what do I say for that camera to turn off and this microphone to no longer be on?
Sometimes.
We're here in Foxborough. The Wheaties, Kellogg, pregame, postgame. End of message. Repeat the line.
Jingle out to the commercial.
Run the commercial, please.
Yeah. It's warm-up season for everybody, right? It's not worth it to unveil all your cards. It's not worth it to put all of the players out there that could possibly get hurt. There is no reason other than to make those, bottom of the barrel cut decisions for preseason football.
That's all you're doing at this point. And this is with 3 game. When we get down to 2, the preseason will be so irrelevant that we don't even talk about it.
No doubt.
Because all we're doing is looking at those 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, the undrafted free agents, and we're trying to make the very bottom of the barrel 53-man roster decisions. Mm-hmm. If you really want to know where your team is right now, go read the practice reports of these joint practices.
Yes.
Because you know what I've learned? Washington's offense is either really bad or the New York Jets are the new modern-day 85 Bears. I don't know which one it is, but in 2 days, Jaden Daniels completed as many passes over a lineman's head as I did. Mm-hmm. That would be 0. He completed 9 passes. Every single one of them either went behind the line of scrimmage or it was a screen.
Yep.
Not good.
No,
and Emmanuel Forbes.
It's also not. That to me, that's also a little unfair.
Okay, why is that unfair?
It's just for Washington, especially. Like, okay, here we got a new coaching staff. We got a brand new quarterback. We're trying to break this rookie in here. Oh, here your first practice is going to be against the soon to be named Jets defense. Awesome. It was never going to look good. I never would have expected it to. If he came out of the practice alive, that would be a win for me.
And I would agree with you wholeheartedly.
That's with them not even having the ability to touch it.
And I would agree with that wholeheartedly, except for the fact Bryce Young last year cut this defense to pieces in the same week of training camp. I know, I was there.
Right.
So, yeah, I think there's something you can glean from that. You can also glean that Emmanuel Forbes, buddy, your yesterday was not awesome. Mm-hmm. I feel like he just sat in his dorm room at Commander Camp and just, can I turn off mentions on Twitter? I don't want to hear my name anymore. It's not
his
good.
Lunchbox eaten.
Garrett Wilson beat him so many times that Matthew Hoffman texted me yesterday and said, I've seen so many clips of Garrett Wilson beating him that I'm tired of watching it. And he's a Jet fan like me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, okay. Well, Washington does have a whole lot to work on. We know that they're not going to be one of the best teams in the league like your Jets are expected to be. That's one of the – but all in all here, what would – the path we started going down here was you can glean way more from practice reports than you can from anything that you can watch in actual preseason action.
No doubt.
You watch it for the – you watch it to make sure and we all pray that nobody gets hurt. But that's the main storyline. That's the only thing, to me, that's really going to change from a preseason game. And how the practices have been more fruitful. However, they're all coming to the realization that we don't need to do this twice. We don't need any more than one joint practice in a week. Have you noticed that the number of joint practices has dropped drastically from last season? As far as 80% of the time last year when two teams would get together and you're having the joint practices, you would have a couple of days of practice. 80% of the time last year, the teams practiced against each other more than once in a week. This year, they've dropped that down to like 20% of the time, maybe 30% of the time. And a lot of it has to do with protecting the players and basically keeping us from killing each other.
Well, you also have to remember this is week 1. This is the first week.
Right.
Next week, you will see more tandem practices.
No, I'm saying in total of all that's already on the schedule.
No, I know what you're saying. You're just blending the weeks.
They've cut them down.
Not nearly as drastically as you're saying. Last year, yeah, you would get that second practice, but you're getting full on. I mean, all I can tell you, the one that I dealt with specifically was the Jets and the Commanders. Mm-hmm. That's the reason I brought it up. Mm-hmm. That one, you basically ran ones-on-ones 3 or 4 times longer than you did last year. So I don't really need a second one. If I'm going to put the ones and the ones against each other that long, I'm good. We can do it once. Carolina and the Jets are doing the same thing next week.
Yep.
They did 2 last year. But the first day, it was 90% backups. So, yeah, if I can cram it all into one day and get the same amount of work in for the guys that are actually going to play, that's fine. Mm-hmm. That's really more just a streamlining, not trying to protect guys.
Really?
Yeah, no doubt. I'll put it this way. In the last 365 days, I have talked to a handful of coaches in the NFL, and one of the questions that I really wanted to ask was, okay, so like preseason means nothing, right? Yes, joint practices mean a lot, and there will come a time that joint practices are all we really do. We'll have, when we go to the 2-game preseason schedule, we'll have 2 joint practices. They'll be with teams that are geographically close to you. You'll have a game and no one will play. It will be all bottom of the roster guys.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say that the owners aren't going to give up their preseason games completely. We'll still have what you're saying. We'll still have the games. It's just nobody will play in them at all.
Yeah, that's a topic for another day. But I don't 100% agree with what you just said.
No, I was trying to summarize what you just said.
What you said was that the owners wouldn't give up the home date, and I'm telling you that is a story that we in the media we put that out there. It's not as true as you think.
Really?
No. They sell these tickets for 10 cents on the dollar. You have to bring in all of the same people for a game day. There are teams that lose money on preseason games.
And they should.
It's not as the owners are putting their foot in the dirt of we're not going to give up that home date. Yeah, it's not quite like that.
Okay.
I thought it was too. I've learned that over the last couple of years.
To me, that's the only thing that makes sense as to why we still do them. I want that extra revenue. I want to be able to sell those tickets.
There are some sponsor things that go on in the preseason. I don't know how you get away from that.
Okay.
That was basically, that's how I should have said that. The date itself is not as relevant as the sponsors that are attached to the team. Mm-hmm. And the sponsors get a lot of love in the preseason.
Yeah. Last night, the Carolina Panthers kicked off the preseason with a 17-3 loss against the New England Patriots.
Yes.
The New York Giants beat the Detroit Lions, who didn't play anybody either. 14-3 was the final there. And then we got the ultimate omen for the I almost said Tampa Bay because that's probably heading the same way. The Carolina Panthers season omen happened at 2:35 this morning when they returned to Charlotte Douglas International Airport and their Delta flight slipped off the runway. No one was hurt. It was just, it's one of those things that you're pretty sure everybody was, clenching a little harder on the descent on that flight.
Well, I mean, look, Panther fans were promised a touchdown, and the only one they got, they didn't do right.
That is very true. Very true. It's always Delta, too. Delta and Boeing. Those are the 2 most toxic names in air travel right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I've gotten to the point that I look at Allegiant and go, it's fine. It's fine. I'll fly Allegiant. I don't care. You know what? I have never been on an Allegiant flight where the door came off.
Very true.
Now, it might have been duct taped on, but it didn't fly off, and that's all I really needed to do.
Again, moral of the story here, everybody's safe. Thankful for that. Carolina Panthers back at home this week. They'll have joint practice coming up on Thursday. Is the joint practice with the Jets, I believe?
Yes. I unfortunately will not be there this year. I will be in Nashville next week.
Mm-hmm. So Thursday will be the joint practice with the Jets, and then, of course, the second game of the preseason next week. We could see Bryce Young, maybe not. I would say probably not. We'll have to wait and see. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. When we come back, we'll start, or I guess we'll restart or continue the countdown of the top 100 players in the NFL for 2024.
People are talking about Summit Dental in Asheville. Just
clear
views. One patient writes, I'll start by saying I really hate going to the dentist. My anxiety is always through the roof, and I'm always so nervous. However, Summit Dental may be the first place that my anxiety is actually not going through the roof. The staff that works at Summit are an incredible team. They're kind, knowledgeable, and funny. I left feeling confident that we have a plan to help restore my teeth and get me on track to a better smile. Find out more about Summit Dental at AshevilleSummitDental.com or call 828-277-6868.
From the team behind Atlanta Monster and Up and Vanished comes a brand new investigative true crime podcast. Flashpoint. Listen as they explore the homegrown terrorism threat through the lens of the Atlanta Olympic bombing and its aftermath.
There is a bomb in Centennial Park. You have 30 minutes.
Listen to Flashpoint on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Flashpoint to start listening.
In this week's Marketers Report, Angela Zepeda, CMO Hyundai Motor America, discusses measuring audio.
The measurement capability within audio, I think, surprised all of us. We have seen a huge return on our investment. Seeing real numbers has helped us continue to invest.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the data, audiences, and influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Summer. Wait, we need to finish school shopping.
We got this. The kids' favorite Good and Gather snacks at Target are now at a new lower price.
And $5 lunch boxes. Let's get Luna the flower bento box.
Good idea. And for our Mega Shark fan Max, I got the Shark backpack. It's only $20.
Even 25-cent select crayons and $6 teas.
And we're done.
Now, where were we?
Cheers to us. When it comes to finishing your supply list, Target has your back to school.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick-ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live in the Ingalls studio, or I am live in the Ingalls studio. Jeremy live from Mullet Manor once again.
One of the last shows live from Mullet Manor. It's a sad day.
Yeah, it is. Next week will be final vacation week before everything gets kicked off in earnest. So we will return with you on the 19th of August, where we will go hot and heavy, full in on fantasy football preparation, as well as catching up on all of the things that have happened in the week of our absence in training camps and the like. Football season fully underway, preseason in the NFL last night. College football is just, a week away? Week 0? 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away.
Week 0.
I'm glad you pointed that out about fantasy football, because later in today's here program, we are going to announce something that we've been asked about a lot in the last few weeks, this year's Battle for the Belt.
Excellent.
The contest will be... It will be similar. The Eliminator has died a grim, gruesome death. And Michael Meadows and I both thank God for that. But this year, there will be a chance for you to win weekly and then win the big prize at the end, too.
Excellent. And so, details on the Battle for the Belt, our fantasy football for charity contest that we do each and every year here in the Sportsocracy. Stay tuned for that. I just saw it come across my Twitter feed. High school football starts tonight with scrimmages and such around the area. So it has arrived. But we still have a lot to do, namely cleaning up the NFL players' mess with their top 100. It takes them 5 days to release the list. It takes us 3, apparently. We've
3 full.
Yeah, 3 full programs to get the top 100 done here. But it's better to do it this way than to speed through the list and just not talk about the guys at length that really need to be talked about. The top 35 starts with a safety from the Baltimore Ravens, Kyle Hamilton.
You remember when he came out and I told everybody, he was my number 1 player in the class.
Yep.
And I told everybody we're losing our minds that he didn't run as fast as you would think.
Yep.
In 2 years in the NFL, he was the number 1 safety in 2022. He was number 6 last year.
Wow.
Best pass rushing safety in the league. One of the best coverage safeties in the league. Then we get to that one little thing that he doesn't do great.
And that is?
He is not a great thumper against the run, which is reasonably shocking to me. I still think he could become that. He just hasn't yet.
Well, he's had 2 years in the league, so he's got a lot to learn.
No doubt.
In run support. But, yeah, being, first-team All-Pro in your second year in the league. And he's one of those guys that every time he's on the field, it's hard to keep track of him as a fan. Like, when I watch Baltimore Ravens games, it's hard for me to go, or it's easy for me to just, I guess, I don't know, forget that he's there for a second. And you won't forget for long because he will be involved in every play.
I'll tell you a stat about Kyle Hamilton that I can't verify that nobody else in the league can I say this about, but I can't think of one. He played over 50 snaps last year in 5 different alignments.
Wow.
He played 58 snaps on the defensive line. Think about what I just said.
That's impressive.
Played 236 in the box, 465 at slot, and over 300 as in 2 different configurations as a deep safety. He's not of this world. He's freakishly talented. And no, I am not shocked that the Baltimore Ravens were the team that swooped through and picked him up.
Handful of interceptions last year in the All-Pro year, as well as 3 sacks to go along with 10 tackles for loss. Kyle Hamilton at number 35 on the Flostradamus NFL Top 100. At number 34,
George Kittle.
I've grown to really, really become a bigger fan of his since the receiver program on the Netflix.
On the Netflix.
On the Netflix.
Not just Netflix.
Nope.
On
it's
the Netflix.
Okay. Once you reach a certain level of greatness, you become like going to the Walmart, as watching this program on the YouTubes.
Or
the
maybe you're just 80 and that's how you talk.
George Kittle, he's an absolute dog, and I absolutely love the fact that he's got that old school gamer mentality to him. No way you're bringing me off this field. I don't care if I'm dragging my leg. I love that about a player.
He's another guy that kind of has the same. I will be interested to see how he's remembered as well, because statistically, he's not going to line up to really any elite tight end ever. I mean, he's only got 3,000-yard seasons in his career, and 2 of those were by 73 yards combined. He's missed a good amount of time, but then comes the pro. He is an elite receiving tight end, but that's not really why he's this high on this list. It's everything else he does. Because he is that term that I hate so much, a willing blocker. Mm-hmm. And he's a really, really, really good one.
Yep.
I could make the argument, and I'm not saying that I fully believe this, but I'm just saying I could fully make the argument. He is the last of a dying breed of complete tight ends. That he is a great blocker and has great hands and is a threat over the middle and deep and underneath. Every other tight end in the league has a yeah but. His yeah but is injuries.
And part of that is because of that dog mentality. Because he is a willing blocker. Because he will put himself in harm's way for the betterment of the team, for the betterment of the play. You can knock that if you want to, but he really is a guy from a different era.
6 years as the full-time number one starting tight end. Do you know where he's graded among tight ends in PFF grade his 6 years as a starter?
I would imagine nowhere outside the top 3.
First, fourth, second, first.
There you go.
That's really all you need to do. Analytics love him because he does everything. There's no real weakness in the game.
Mm-hmm. And to hear him, talk about putting himself behind the team. And that, I'm telling you, that the receiver series was quite illuminating on what makes George Kittle tick. And he's just a guy that's out there to play football rather than being out there to score 25 touchdowns in a season or get, he could care less about getting 1,200 yards or, 98 catches or whatever benchmarks for the season. His goal is to go out there and do everything he can to make the team, to help the team win. And if that's him busting a long one up the seams, or if it's him playing as the 5th or 6th offensive lineman on, Christian McCaffrey's play, it doesn't matter to him. And that's why I really like him. Number 34, George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. You're in the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your extra.
And we're clear.
Forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine for us here this afternoon, and warm with a slight chance for a shower or storm through this evening. High temperatures this afternoon, middle to upper 80s. Clearing skies overnight. Temperatures drop down into the mid-60s, and then go ahead and make the outdoor plans for the weekend. Should be a couple of really nice days with less humidity. Mostly sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures both afternoons reaching highs in the middle 80s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Gun Owners of America.
Gun Owners of America proudly invites you to the Second Amendment Summit at the Knoxville Convention Center August 17th and 18th. See hundreds of vendors with the latest firearms and gear, plus inspiring speakers and panels. For info, visit gunowners.org.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
Team USA men's basketball is headed to the gold medal game after surviving a scare against Serbia. The U.S. rallied from 17 down to win. Veteran Kevin Durant on the dramatic comeback.
We was able to keep fighting that fourth quarter. We showed why we are who we are. Defensively is when we turned it up.
The U.S. plays France for gold tomorrow. The women's team hoping to get to the final. They face Australia in the semis today.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
At Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation, our focus is on you. With 18 locations across North Carolina, specializing in short-term rehabilitation and long-term care, our team is ready to support your loved one, providing the compassionate care they need for whatever lies ahead. From physical and occupational therapy to individualized long-term support, discover the ways Sandstone provides compassionate care for all at sanstonehealth.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride with the parts you need at the prices you want. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they're guaranteed to fit your ride the first time, every time, or your money back. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back on the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And if you're into political news, you may have seen that the latest news out of Iowa is that RFK Jr. has decided not to hold his soapbox event at the Iowa State Fair today. That's one of those, like, an NFL preseason game is on. Yeah, I think I'm good. RFK Jr.'s giving a stump speech. I really don't think I need to participate in all of that. It's a crazy person.
They're putting hormones in the water. Sorry. Has anybody ever seen those two dudes in the same room at the same time? Because
No, we have not.
I'm pretty sure one of them's pulling the strings for the other. I just don't know which way that goes.
The Iowa State Fair in news in the political realm, but it's also in news in the sports world because they have a very interesting exhibit this year at the Iowa State Fair. So much like any state fair, they focus on agriculture. There's agricultural exhibits, and I guess the dairy farmers got together and decided that they needed to make sure to immortalize Iowa's greatest sports star in only the way that Iowa dairy farmers can. They have built an 8-foot butter statue of Caitlin Clark as one of the, hey, come on down to the fair and see the giant butter statue of Caitlin Clark.
Who wanted to see that?
I don't know. I'm really not sure.
There are certain places that people live, and I just go, but why?
Why do you live in Iowa?
Well, and look, you know what?
I mean, if you live in like Cedar Rapids, and you're a fan of roller coasters, okay, I guess I could see how you got there. I know I got a buddy that lives in Waterloo, Iowa, and the only reason he moved back there was because, he was from there and moved back to be close to family. Other than that, he tells me Iowa is pretty much just corn. It's not really a lot to see.
I will admit I've been to Iowa, and I didn't leave anything there that I need back that badly.
I'm sure the people are wonderful, though.
Oh, yeah, salt of the earth.
Much like the rest of the Midwest.
And I will tell you this. Have you ever noticed that the worse the location is, the friendlier the people are?
Yeah.
Why is that? If I live to be 200 years old, I don't think anybody will ever explain that to me aptly.
Because you care about people when you're not in a big city.
Well, it's because you're trying to keep them there. Like, please, God, you're the first new person I've seen in 11 years. Don't leave. Nobody's coming back.
Right. There's more of a sense of a community in a smaller town. You get to know more people. Living in a big city, there's too much stuff to do. I guess the more people you add in, the more reclusive and people-hating you become. Right? You shove, a billion people in New York City. Of course, everybody's going to be pissed off all the time because there are people way too close to me 24/7. Smaller towns, you get, like I said, you actually care about people.
I guess that is a way to look at it. Now, all I can think about, I'd made the mistake. I looked in the chat. And now I want to do is tell that RFK Bear story as Alex Jones. Woman hit a bear. I was going to wear it, but they wouldn't let me take it on the plane. I blame the government. They did it. Sorry. That's one of those little things I learned that I could do, and now I can't stop.
Right.
My story is about the legend, the man, the myth, the legend, and we are just, it doesn't take far for you to figure out how it could happen again. Tommy Cutlets, baby. Drew Lock got hurt last night very quickly into the Giants-Lions game. And in comes Tommy DeVito. 8 of 15, 92 yards. Nothing that descript until Brian Daboll got to the podium and waxed poetic about him for 5 full minutes. And I quote, he's getting better. I think he's got firm control of the offense. The guys have a lot of confidence in him. I have confidence in him. He's really come a long way since he's been here. It's good for him to play as much as he did so we can keep on developing him. Okay. You're going to call me a conspiracy theorist. What if? How far does Daniel Jones have to go down the rabbit hole before Brian Daboll just goes, nope, not going out this way?
Not far.
I agree with you. I really do. I started thinking about that last night when I turned on that game, and I first of all, I completely forgot Drew Lock signed with the Giants. I'm just fait accompli. I didn't know he played for them. But then I just looked at the depth chart and went, if I'm Brian Daboll, do I not feel better about going out with somebody that the fans love than somebody that the fans hate? And I'm going to level you. I don't think there's that big of a difference.
I don't either.
I really don't. I don't think there's that big of a difference between Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito.
No, I mean, Daniel Jones obviously has a better arm than Tommy DeVito does, but they bring some of the same things to the table. You know, that awkward can run if he has to kind of a thing. And they're not terrible athletes. Both of them have a little bit of speed.
If they did a movie about Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito could be his stunt double that just pounded Paps at lunch and then threw himself off a bridge without like a harness or anything.
Yes, precisely. It's not that far off. And there's been some discussion in the last, week or so, I guess, of camp of, is Tommy DeVito going to be a casualty? Are they going to cut him loose off of this team? And I'm thinking you probably ought not to.
Well, I mean, they only have 3 quarterbacks.
And you can carry 3 now.
Yes.
So maybe this is no longer a question that, okay, yeah, we will keep one of these guys. Or we'll keep all 3 of these guys in some shape, form, or fashion. I guess hiding one of them on the practice squad or stashing one of them on the practice squad.
Well, and that third quarterback, you have to be careful because that guy can get pilfered.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you have to worry about that out of Tommy DeVito. I don't think the other 31 teams are looking at him going, that could be our guy. Most other teams are going, are you seeing this?
No, but
They have a Sopranos character as their third string quarterback.
Yeah. That was like the only positive moments that we had talking about the New York Giants last year was the Tommy Cutlets experience.
Hey, get the gabagoo. Get the gabagoo for Tommy Cutlets.
I don't know why this would even be a question, whether or not he was going to be on your team. Your team's that bad. That's the only thing I'm trying to say there.
I will say this.
Not saying that he's good enough that he should make every team in the NFL. I'm just saying for the Giants, he makes way more sense than even keeping Daniel Jones.
Stephen Tao, who, by the way, happy birthday, Stephen Tao.
Yes, happy birthday, brother.
He asked me before the show when we were going to start talking more fantasy football, let me give you one little fantasy nugget that I have learned from the Giants camp over the last couple weeks. I feel like a lot of people are worried about Malik Neighbors. Yeah, because right now he's going back into the 4th, beginning of the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care who their quarterback is. He's that damn good. I don't care if it's Tommy Cutlets. I don't care if it's Daniel Jones. I don't care if it's Alex Jones. Draft Malik Neighbors.
Yep.
He's just always open. Every time I look out there, he's open. Trying to wear that bear.
I think the notes from that game that I was reading this morning said, I don't know if they were being hyperbolic or if it was actually true, that he was open 9 times last night.
Malik
no
Neighbors.
one ever got him.
Malik Neighbors, during those Giants, the Giants-Lions joint practices, if you go back and read what some of these guys said about him, and then some things I've heard that were off the record, Malik Neighbors is the Maserati in front of a double wide. He's that good. Mm-hmm. I've had 2 scouts whose opinions I trust that have seen him up close in person say he's better than Marvin Harrison Jr., and none of them said that going into the draft.
Well, that's Brian Daboll apparently thought it. Joe Shane said it to him in the war room of he was your number 1. Here he is. We got him. Now go do something with him.
There were guys that thought that going into the draft process.
Mm-hmm. I remember us talking about it in the run-up to draft day of why in this last week are we just now hearing people come out saying that Malik Neighbors might be better than Marvin Harrison Jr.
And what I said was that's the media picking up a narrative because we're getting close to the draft. I know guys that thought that through the whole process. And I have yet to come across a person that has seen him at Giants camp that hasn't said that is the best receiver they have had in 25 years.
Yep.
That's very high praise 2 weeks into camp.
No doubt about it. The NFL Top 100, the players got it wrong, so the Sportsocracy has to fix it because that's just what we do.
I know somebody. There are at least a handful of people that are going to be really upset about the guy at number 33.
Well, it does appear to me that this is really low. 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson, at number 33. Why is he not up in the elite of the elite category?
Well, there are several things about Lamar Jackson that I have always said. It's not that he's not an elite athlete. It's not that he's a running back playing quarterback. It's none of those things. It's how you have to build this team. And so let me ask you, I'll just ask you this question. You see the list. There are 4 quarterbacks left on this list. I only had 6 total. If you were offered Lamar Jackson straight up for any of the 4 of them right now, would you do it?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. And so now you look at Lamar with his age, because Lamar is going to age like a dairy product by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
You look at a guy like, I'll just use the best one of the bunch. You look at a guy like Pat Mahomes that virtually never gets hit. He's going to last longer. He just is.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson is going to age poorly because speed fades over time, and that is the best thing he has. When I say a fallacy here, you feel free to tell me that I've said one. He'll be 28 years old in 3 months. How long do you think he can do this? Because I have a number in my head.
I was thinking 33.
I was thinking 32.
Okay.
I'm thinking about the time this contract dissolves is when he's going to start fading.
Mm-hmm.
And just to me, I look at other players. He is a special talent. I've never been all that convinced that he was a special quarterback. Because he wins really one way.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get into the playoffs and you can't do it. It gets cold. Defenses get tougher. You start going up against faster defenses. You don't catch many, let's insult a defense here. You don't get many Denver Broncos in the playoffs.
Right.
And to me, it's not an accident that his record in the playoffs is as bad as it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, he's a special player. He's in the top 33 of my list. That's the top third of the top 100 in a league that has, what? I'm trying to remember now the number. 1,700 players? You're in the top 2%.
Yes.
And I don't think that's even debatable. I just don't think he belongs in the top 10.
Right. Lamar Jackson at number 33. For reference, he was number 2 on the NFL players list, just behind Tyreek Hill and 2 spots ahead of Patrick Mahomes.
Which is nanners.
which is.
And I may have gone overboard because they got the Pat Mahomes thing so wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where I slotted him in, and frankly, I'm not backing off of it.
All right. At number 32,
Aiden Hutchinson.
Young kid from the Detroit Lions. What's the ceiling for him?
Give me
in the short little window that he's been in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Where's his ceiling right now?
He could be the replacement to T.J. Watt and Myles Garrett as the best end in the league. It wouldn't shock me in the least.
4 years from now.
I don't think he will ever pass them per se, but when their decline starts, I could see him filling that mantle. All right, think about what I'm getting ready to say here. He had 11.5 sacks last year. Can you name me anybody else for the Detroit Lions that had more than 2?
Oh, man. I would say Aquara probably had 4 or 5.
Both Aquara brothers had 2.
2 apiece?
Julian and Romeo both had 2.
Okay.
That was a bit of a trick question because there were only 3 guys on the team that had more than 2 other than him.
Yeah.
It was Fedi Malifonwu, Alex Anzalone, and Aleem McNeil, who had 5. Really? That's it. There's nobody else on that team that really scares you off the edge. And he's still putting up numbers. What do you think will happen now that he has – oh, and by the way, I didn't even mention the fact he had one of the worst secondaries in the league. So not only do I have to get home, I have to get home getting double-teamed constantly. And the ball's coming out quick because the secondary can't stop anybody. Think about it this way. If he played for the Jacksonville Jaguars and had Josh Allen on the other side, Josh Hines Allen, you think that 21 sacks in 2 years would be higher? Because I do.
Oh, most definitely.
Well, now he has a secondary. I don't know who the ending – I don't know who the starting 3 will be. And Ben Whitley said he runs like Wreck-It Ralph, which he really does. He runs like Wreck-It Ralph and Waluigi had a child.
It doesn't look very fluid.
No. It's very Mongo Smash. I don't know who the secondary is going to end up being. I just know it's going to end up being better.
Yes.
Now, a question before we move on to the next player on the list. Tao asked, how can the MVP not be higher of a best players of 2023 list? So this is not a best players of 2023 list. This is best players of 2024. This is for the upcoming season. We did the same thing the NFL did. We're going forward, not backward. So we're not evaluating what you did last year. This is where we would take you for this upcoming year. That was another part of Lamar Jackson is right now he has Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, and me to throw to.
Which ain't really much different than last year.
He had
OBJ. Okay.
Since people think that I'm sure people think that I was doing on Lamar Jackson there. Let me give you about the highest compliment that I could ever give a quarterback. I feel like 10, 15 years from now, we're going to look at Lamar Jackson the same way we did Dan Marino. Of, man, he was really, really good. Why did they not put anything around him? It is so unfortunate they couldn't hit on receivers outside of Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews.
That makes a whole lot of sense.
Part of that is his playing style. The other part is that that's the one position that Baltimore just doesn't do well.
Yep. Last one before the top of the hour here. Let's hit number 31.
Dexter Lawrence. He doesn't get the love he deserves because he plays for a really bad team. But in terms of true nose tackles in this league, there's not many guys you would take over him. Last 2 years, there's not one in the league, Aaron Donald included, that graded better than him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
I mean, he's just, in terms of a interior pass rusher, he is as good as we have in this league. He holds up against the run. He really does it all. There's just absolutely nothing around him.
49 times in the last 2 seasons he's hit a quarterback. That's a lot.
That's a lot for a nose tackle.
That's a nose tackle has hit the quarterback 49 times in the last 2 seasons. He is 2-time second-team All-Pro. Dexter Lawrence of the New York Giants coming in at number 31. We'll continue to fix the NFL Top 100 when we come back here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life
Clear.
Thank you.
There's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, call 888-532-5016. Then, when you stop, if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. For a free personalized quote, call 888-532-5016 today.
Asheville and Buncombe County schools are headed back soon. Join Leadership Asheville on August 10th to learn about the challenges K-12 are facing, the goals for the future, and how you can help. Leadership Asheville will host a panel discussion on August 10th at the Crown Plaza Expo Center to dive into local K-12 issues with local leaders. Join us at 8 o'clock for networking and a program at 8:30. Buy your tickets today at leadershipasheville.unca.edu.
Here's a tip from iHeartRadio Earth to help protect our planet. Nearly 30% of household water goes to lawn and garden care. To save money on your summer water bill, try using a rain barrel to collect and store water for when you need it most, and provide an ample supply of water for gardens, flower pots, and car washing. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, visit iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Pain from arthritis is awful. Bone-on-bone constant pain. It robs you of so much of the stuff you love to do. But there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. And the place to go? QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief. With no downtime, the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. This is the future of medicine. Call for a free consultation now in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days. Hey buddy, you wanna go fishing? The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex. All right, buddy, let me help you. But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes now you look like a pro. Are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine for us here this afternoon, and warm with a slight chance for a shower or storm through this evening. High temperatures this afternoon, middle to upper 80s. Clearing skies overnight. Temperatures drop down into the mid-60s, and then go ahead and make the outdoor plans for the weekend. Should be a couple of really nice days with less humidity. Mostly sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures both afternoons reaching highs in the middle 80s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2024.
Attention drivers, Ingalls Markets is hiring experienced CDLA holders for our local fleet. As an Ingalls driver, you start earning paid time off on day one. Our local drivers earn an average salary of $75,000 a year, but that's not all. You'll also enjoy great benefits like medical, dental, and vision insurance, plus a 401k with company matching and weekly pay. If you have a year or more of driving experience, apply online today at inglescareers.com. That's Ingalls Careers.
1 minute.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
10-4.
check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
Yeah!
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
I'm Scarlett Johansson. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love.
There is a cue to call here.
Network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. You can join the movement to end hunger by donating, volunteering, and advocating. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview,
WMFX Waynesville,
an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics.
Now your chance at $1,000 and a trip to our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment. Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is the Sportsocracy, and we are live at the Ingalls studio on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that way you can join us in the chat. Your thoughts on the final rankings here, the final cleanup of the NFL Top 100 as voted on by the players, and they got it wrong. So Jeremy decided, well, he has to. I mean, because that's what we do. Like, I've got the OCD like crazy. So, like, when I go to, a public place and things are out of order, even though I don't work there, I will still put things back in order. And Jeremy sees stupidity, and he just can't let it stand.
Well, look, there are no stupid opinions. There are just stupid people that have opinions. It's completely different.
And NFL players apparently tend to fall into that category.
Well, I mean, we are in a world where people with the dumbest opinions tend to be the loudest.
Right.
You can draw out of that what you want to. It's up to you. I didn't say it. You just inferred it.
Last night was the opening of the preseason for the Carolina Panthers. Also, 3 other teams involved in preseason games last night. We've got another 6 teams playing tonight. Jeremy, you said earlier, or before the show started, you said you were going to try to head over to the Titans game
yes.
this weekend?
HWA and I will be at Titans 49ers tomorrow.
Okay, all right. So
we're staying right beside the stadium. I was like, hey, I could go to camp and just sweat my keister off in 4 jillion degree heat in Nashville, or I could go to the stadium and drink beers, and yes. I chose the latter.
Yes.
I mean, because this is the ultimate week of seeing preseason, seeing the greatest band of the 20th century, Creed, reuniting in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a sight to behold.
Atlanta Falcons, Miami Dolphins, Houston Texans, Pittsburgh Steelers, Philadelphia Eagles, and the Baltimore Ravens are the 3 games tonight around preseason action. And then, Tennessee Titans, San Francisco 49ers. Tomorrow we'll expect all the pictures and all of the reports from the game. There, Flostradamus.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. We're fixing the NFL's top 100, and we are up to number 30. After Dexter Lawrence came in at number 31, let's go to another NFC East team. The Dallas Cowboys at number 30 is?
Zach Martin.
Yeah. That guy is just a mountain, a monster, and a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No doubt. This is where he's the last of the best player at his position. He's dropped off a little bit in the last couple of years. I mean, he's almost 34 years old. Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of instability of what's around him. I still think if all things were equal, he's the best guard in the NFL.
Yes.
The thing is, they're not all still equal. And now he's got a lot of... Can you name the 5 linemen of the Dallas Cowboys right now?
Ooh, no. I can't.
Well, Zach Martin and Tyler Smith are the 2 givens.
Okay. And then Tyler Guyton was just drafted.
Tyler Guyton is
left.
Preliminarily, he is starting on the left.
Okay.
Terrence Steele is starting on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And Brock Hoffman is the starting center.
Who dat?
Virginia Tech. He was a hope. Second year in the league.
Uh-huh.
He played 300 snaps last year. And, hey, only 94 of those were on field goals. So, okay. Just. That's a lot for a vet like Zach Martin to deal with.
Yeah. I get it. He's still one of the best in the league, though. And he is, if there is a lineman that can be an MVP candidate for his team, I would think Zach Martin would probably be high on that list. At number 29.
A.J. Brown. You remember when he was in Tennessee and I tried to tell you how good he was?
Yes.
And people looked at me like I was out of my mind. And now we've gone full circle of admitting I was right and now back to, well, no, you were actually wrong because he wasn't as good last year. Yeah, he's still just an absolute dog. Just an absolute dog of a wide receiver. I think there are things happening in Philadelphia that are not awesome. I don't know exactly what it is, but it doesn't change how I think he will be on the field. Well,
The concern that I have about AJ is the attitude, right? And not just that, oh, he's a diva wide receiver, he's a headache, he's a problem, blah 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 blah. It's the fact that it doesn't seem to gel real well, and it's all because of the dum-dum that's your head coach. I was reading through an article yesterday, a breakdown of the relationship between Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. And the whole article was talking about how, they don't see eye to eye on things. That last year's biggest problem was that Nick wanted to come in and he wanted the offense basically not to change. He wanted it all to be the same way that it was when Shane Steichen was there and they went to a Super Bowl. Despite the fact that you had a new offensive coordinator that wanted to do things differently. You had a quarterback who had just got paid, is still kind of coming into his own. He wants to play a little bit differently. And we all saw how that went at the end of the season. Nick Sirianni lost all control of that team to where it was basically a mutiny going on, where he had to kick guys out of the building and put Pat Matricia in charge of some things that he should never be put in charge of. Nick will continue to be the guy that I look at and go, if this doesn't work, he is the absolute and last reason why. First and last reason.
Do you realize how good A.J. Brown was the first half of last year?
Tell me.
He had 1,456 yards total, 106 catches, 7 touchdowns. If you go from November 5th on, he broke 100 yards once.
Yep.
He had 2 touchdowns total.
Yep, and from November 12th on, he looked like he was absolutely done with this team.
There were certainly times of that.
The blow-ups on the sidelines, the yelling and screaming of, I'm open, why the hell are you not giving me the ball? It makes him look bad, but he wasn't wrong.
I was about to say he's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong.
I mean, like, I fully would have expected, and I'm kind of surprised that we didn't see more of an attitude last night from Malik Neighbors, because when you're open all the time like that and they're just not getting you the ball, what am I supposed to do? Right? In one case, you paid me all this money to be here, right? You traded for me, you brought me in here, you paid me big money. You're not giving the ball, you're not letting me help the team. On the flip side, you spent all this draft capital on me, you would not be, you're not giving me the ball. Obviously, it's the first preseason game. I'm just saying, when wide receivers get stuck into that position, I can't blame you for being
I
ticked
don't
off.
blame you. I don't. I understand his anger.
Mm-hmm.
He's already had one team and that was the front office, that didn't appreciate him, wasn't planning on paying him. They shipped him out of town.
Yep.
And now he's seeing the writing on the wall of this kind of feels like it's going the exact same way. And look, I'm just going to be real. This is as cut and dry about this as I can be. A.J. Brown was the best receiver in the league from the start of the year to the end of October. In those games combined, the Philadelphia Eagles were 7-1. From that point on, he was mediocre at best, and they were 4-5.
Yep.
That's not ironic.
A.J. Brown at number 29. Let's go to number 28.
Trent McDuffie.
Who wasn't even on the NFL.
Which is the dumbest thing that's ever been said out loud.
Because he's like the 4th best cornerback in the entire league. However, somehow he didn't make the top 100.
Trent McDuffie was really good as a rookie. He was phenomenal last year. And he and the other young corners on that team were the reason that Kansas City was okay to trade L'Jarius Sneed.
Yep.
He's going to play as the number 1. Now, here's my question. He played a lot as the slot guy last year. I'm curious to see if he still does that. Really curious to see if he still does that. Spagnuolo moves guys around as much as any coordinator I think I've ever seen. And there's almost a stigma about slot corners that they're undersized, they can't guard the number 1s, blah, 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 blah. Trent McDuffie completely blows that up. I would say you will see when they play teams that have a legit number 1 receiver that comes out of the slot, he'll play out of the slot. And you'll see Joshua Williams and Jalen Watson on the outside. That's how I think it will go. And then he will play on the outside against teams that have number 1 receivers that play on the outside.
Yep.
There's not many guys that can do that. Trent McDuffie can. And the fact he wasn't on the NFL's list is an absolute travesty, and it completely invalidated the whole list to me. I did the math because I got the breakdown of position players once it was all released. And when I saw Deron Bland made it in the top 35 and Trent McDuffie didn't make it at all, I went, that's too stupid and has to be fixed.
I guess the question is Josh Williams and Jalen Watson, are they good enough to keep him where he's best?
I believe so, yes.
And I think the answer to that is yes as well.
I believe so, yes.
And when you have somebody that is a shutdown, a number 1, best in the league at doing that, why would I take him away from doing that to put him on the outside? Obviously, if there's a big talent discrepancy, then I don't have to do that.
Kansas City has a lot of corners. And depending on who they're coming up against, they can do a lot of things to mitigate your offense.
Yep. Let's go to number 27, staying in the AFC West. Other side of the ball, a guy that probably will be matched up against Trent McDuffie.
Devontae Adams. Yeah, he's still that good.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a quarterback at this point.
He did.
Well, I mean, he could have a quarterback that good. We just had to find a way to get him to the New York Jets because I think he wants us. We want him. Let's just, we'll come together and make this happen as one.
And we'll party like it's 1969.
You do realize that and last year was, I'm not going to say the worst season of his career. It was certainly up there. He still had 1,100 plus yards. Still had 8 touchdowns.
Because he still was really damn good
still
last
just
year.
out of this world good. 31 years old. Mm-hmm. He'll be 32 the day before Christmas. I don't care. He's just that good. And that's the reason that I keep looking at this quarterback battle. You tell me Gardner Minshew is the starter of this team, I think you're going to see the Devontae Adams that we had basically seen the previous 5 years, which was 1,300 plus yards, double-digit touchdowns. You add that to Jacoby Myers, you've got the 2 young tight ends, and I think the defense is going to be drastically improved. That's good enough for the Raiders to be competitive. I'm not telling you they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I'm also telling you they're not going to be sitting at home at 4-8 going into Week 13 with nothing to play for.
Right. It'll be a hunt. And Devontae Adams will be a big reason because or for that.
No doubt.
Number 26.
It's your guy. I'll let you announce it. He's your guy.
My boy. Number 26. One of the best young tackles in all of football, Tristan Wirfs of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just got the big bag, and he's going to be a staple for that team for a long, long time. What is the biggest knock that you have on him?
The biggest knock that I have on him?
Yeah.
I'm very wary of how I say this. I think he is as good we have in this league as a pass blocker. I don't think he's a very good run blocker, but I also have to throw on the caveat. Is he not a good run blocker because he's not a good run blocker, or is he not a good run blocker because of the team he plays for? Bruce Arians was not an easy guy to run block for. Dave Canales, the way that system runs, was not the easiest guy to run block for. I'm not sure how that changes. He could come out this year and be a top 5 guy in the league. It wouldn't shock me in the least. I think he is about as good of a young player as we have. He's just a little south of being elite for me. And I'm being very picky about elite.
I was going to say, you gotta be very picky to get there, because
how many elite players do you have in this league? I can tell you to the number how many I have.
Okay, how many?
12.
Really?
There are 12 elite players in this league.
Huh. Okay.
And they all play glamour positions.
Yeah, if you're being that stingy about it, sure.
They all play. I'm looking at the list right now. There are 4 edge rushers. There is 2 receivers, 2 quarterbacks. That's where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
And then a couple of ancillary positions that if I tell you what position it is, it'll tell you what guys are in my top 12. Because I'd wager you'd figure out who I'm talking about.
Yep.
I think he's just a notch below that. That's not a knock. I mean, the only thing I'm saying here is that you're not Micah Parsons. That's not an insult.
Precisely. Tristan Wirfs coming in at number 26 on the Sportsocracy NFL Top 100. We're fixing the mistakes of the players and their list that they vote on each and every year. We'll continue with the list right after this on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400.
In this week's Marketers Report, we learn about the value of local
Clear.
times from Allison Griffin,
Thank you.
Marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of a tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company, iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Madam Giselle senses something in your future.
Is my boyfriend gonna propose?
It's a big storm.
Wait, we're gonna get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21 while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dale's. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls,
See you later, Dad.
all the ingredients for family.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, God?
Fixing the NFL's top 100 as voted on by the players. This was set up by Flostradamus, so you know it's perfect in every way.
It's not perfect in every way.
What was the quote you said to me earlier today? I've never not been wrong, so of course I'm right. That tends to be. You should have that on a T-shirt somewhere. I feel like Amy would really appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Amy's been in full packing mode because we are going to be gone for a week, and we have a lot of things to do. In her opinion, I've been wrong at least 11 times in the last 24 hours. And she's probably not wrong. I've always found it really funny that God in his infinite wisdom pairs two people together that are the polar opposites when it comes to traveling. Mm-hmm. My wife will pack 5 days before a trip. I will pack 5 minutes before I walk out the door.
Yep. I'm the same way.
And it always leads to some fun shenanigans in the 24 hours before you leave for a trip.
Yes.
Especially one where you have a time frame where you have to be there because you have to get to a stadium.
Flostradamus has another bucket list item being checked off next week. He and the missus will be heading off to Nashville, Tennessee. Part of the vacation will include a Creed concert. So we're all super pleased.
Oh, it's not just Creed either.
Well, you're going to the Titans game.
Well, it's not just. I mean, it's not just Creed in Nashville.
Oh, who's playing with them?
I was afraid you were going to ask me that. Who is playing with them? I can't remember.
Oh, goodness.
I'll find it.
Okay, so where were you going with that? I thought you were going to say, oh, so-and-so is also playing with him.
I was, but now I can't find it. So it's the Summer of '99 tour. So good. So good.
I was trying to...
Tonic and Finger 11. There it is.
Tonic
and Finger 11.
Finger 11. That wasn't... Were they making music back when Creed was making music?
They were after Creed, I believe.
I was going to say, I feel like that was the early... That was like a mid-2010s group.
No, they're not that late.
Are they not that late?
No.
That's the Paralyzer song.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we all hope you have a grand time.
Which means they're going to come out on stage and I'm going to go, play that one song at home and get off the stage.
And leave.
Leave. The more of you I get, the less of Creed I get, and that is a loss for us all.
Yes.
Go back to your day job at the Home Depot.
Trivia question here, Flostradamus. In the history of the NFL, how many quarterbacks have ever led the NFL in passing yards per game and touchdown to interception ratio in the same season?
I'll say it's happened twice.
Oh, you're so close. It's happened 3 times. Now, the bigger question is, can you name who did it? It's not a trick. It's obviously names that you know.
Tom Brady.
That's one.
Dan Marino.
No. It's a good guess, though.
I know the third one, so I'm going to have to guess at who John Elway.
Oh, name the next one from that same era.
It can't be Brett Favre because he threw a bajillion interceptions.
Lots of Super Bowls.
Lots of Super Bowls. Joe Montana?
Joe Montana. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and number 25 on the top 100 countdown here.
C.J. Stroud.
In his rookie year. He led the NFL in passing yards per game and touchdown to interception ratio, something that only Tom Brady and Joe Montana had ever pulled off in their careers. Hence why C.J. Stroud doesn't get any consideration for the NFL Top 100 before his rookie season, and afterwards he lands in the top 25.
He's real good at football. I've probably never missed a quarterback as badly as I did C.J. Stroud because I fell into the helmet scouting of he didn't do these things at Ohio State, and it means he can't. He can. And it really helps when you give him Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz, and then you add Stephon Diggs.
And one of the best young offensive minds in the league as his offensive coordinator.
I think look, I've made this very clear. Houston's my pick to win the Super Bowl. I've been adamant that the sophomore slump it's not going to catch C.J. Stroud, because they have so many weapons that there are so many different ways that you can prop him up. And this is the beauty of having a quarterback this good on a rookie deal, is that you've got 4 years before he becomes expensive. And so you can give him weapons like Stephon Diggs. I will go out on a limb and say that by the time the 2024 season we put a bow on it, C.J. Stroud will be the second best quarterback in the NFL to me. I think he will pass Joe Burrow and Josh Allen this year.
Okay.
And that's not a shot at Burrow.
No, it's
kind of a shot at Josh Allen because he turns the ball over too much.
It's a whole lot of hope for C.J. Stroud.
I think the kid's that good. Now, the caveat there is I did see one team that was absolutely able to make his life a living hell. The thing is that there's only 2 teams in the league that are built to do that, and he beat the smoke off the second one in the playoffs. It's the Jets in Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. And the question becomes, what can the ceiling be when you give him weapons like this?
Pat Mahomes. I'll tell you exactly what the ceiling can be. He can be that good. He can be the Peyton Manning to Tom Brady of the next 10 years.
Yep.
And you can tell me I'm being hyperbolic. He only played 16 games. I don't care. I don't care. I saw him do things as a rookie that I have not seen Hall of Fame quarterbacks do. And he's only just begun.
Mm-hmm. He's already showing the capabilities of being one of the best quarterbacks in this league, and his roster is basically unrivaled by any other team. I don't think there's another team in the league that checks as many boxes as the Houston Texans do.
I think this roster is absolutely out of this world good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's going to turn into a whole lot of wins for the Houston Texans. We'll see what the season holds for C.J. Stroud. Whole lot of MVP talk. Whole lot of they could win the Super Bowl talk. And I'll just say history sometimes does not always match up. When there's hype this big, it's hard to live up to. And if he does it, he's definitely going to be he'll be showing up on this list much higher next year.
And I'll tell you one, and I'll give you another caveat about C.J. Stroud. In terms of quarterbacks that qualified, over 250 passing attempts last year, name me the quarterbacks that finished ahead of him in yards per completion.
I'll go no one.
Tua Tagovailoa and Brock Purdy. Both playing in the Kyle Shanahan offense, which, oh, by the way, you know he plays in that too, right? Mm-hmm. We never talk about that, but it's an offshoot of the same offense. He wasn't even pressing the ball down the field last year. That's how we wound up with 5 interceptions. Only had 23 touchdowns, but he only had 5 interceptions as well. There are several levels better that he could be in 2024.
Got some skill position pass catchers coming up next on the NFL Top 100 as we roll through here, getting you ready for the NFL season in 2024. Preseason is underway. Panthers got underway with their preseason action last night. Got 3 more games in the NFL tonight. We'll continue the countdown with number 24 when we come back.
This is your Exergen
Clear
weather forecast on ESPN
Thank you.
Asheville.
All right, we got to get 16 in this next
Sunshine
segment.
course here this afternoon and warm with a slight chance for a shower or storm through this evening. High temperatures this afternoon.
That's a lot.
Clearing skies overnight.
That's
Temperatures
half the
drop down
list.
into the mid-60s, and then go ahead and make the outdoor plans.
Started at 30 in this hour, so we got to get to 15 for the next one.
Mostly sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures both afternoons.
Oh, I thought you were saying we had to do 16 of them, and that's not happening.
No, we got to get to number 16.
To number 16. Okay, we can do that.
America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/
Do we skip weird?
Bank of America,
yes.
N.A. Copyright 2024.
If you're listening to this Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance ad, there's a good chance that you're alive. And if you're not, well, this may not be of interest to you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Life insurance, I'm going to live forever. Death is what happens to other people. Well, for the sake of argument, let's assume you're wrong, and that someday you won't be listening to the radio anymore. I know it's not easy to talk about, so I'll do the talking. If you're 50 plus and alive, or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. And since this life insurance is guaranteed, you don't have to get a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, visit GerberLifeFamily.com. Then when you stop, if you stop listening to the radio, your family can use the insurance money to help cover your final expenses or anything else. Your kids already inherited your ears, allergies, and questionable singing voice. Don't make them inherit your final expense tab too. Visit GerberLifeFamily.com. See website for terms and restrictions.
Hey, it's Mark Starling from First News on 570, and I've been going to Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt for years. They're fantastic, but you don't have to take my word for it. Check out some of these 5-star reviews from Google. After searching for a dentist for months, I finally found this place. I needed some serious dental work, and they got me in within a week. If you're anxious about going to the dentist, I assure you, this is the place that can give you a new outlook on having dental work done. They're upfront, honest, and caring people who only want the best for their patients. You gotta check out Summit Dental in Asheville with Dr. Chad Reinhardt, home of the comfort menu.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero, the American Red Cross of Western North Carolina. The need for blood is so important, and in the summer months, the need is even greater. Did you know that you can donate every 56 days? Save lives this summer. Head to redcross.org to schedule an appointment or find a blood drive near you. Congratulations to the American Red Cross, our Parks Promise community hero.
Attention drivers, Ingalls Markets is hiring experienced CDLA holders for our local fleet. As an Ingalls driver, you start earning paid time off on day one. Our local drivers earn an average salary of $75,000 a year, but that's not all. You'll also enjoy great benefits like medical, dental, and vision insurance, plus a 401k with company matching and weekly pay. If you have a year or more of driving experience, apply online today at inglescareers.com. That's inglescareers.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Hello, everybody. This is good old JR Jim Ross, WWE Hall of Famer. Boy, these boys are smart. You talk about Goofy and a pet coon. Let me tell you something. This show is a legitimate slobber knocker.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. Sad news out of the wrestling world today. Kevin Sullivan, the Taskmaster, one of the greatest villains of all time in WWE history, wrestling history, period. Worked for every organization, I believe, at some point. One of the head writers, main booker for a long years. Kevin Sullivan passed away at the age of 74. The NFL Top 100 Fix continues to roll on here in the Sportsocracy. We get to number 24, my favorite guy from last year's draft, Detroit Lions tight end, Sam Laporta.
I'm sure somebody's going to think this is too high, but it's not.
It's not. Kid is elite.
And he can actually, he's not a horrendous blocker. He's not great yet, but I think he will be. Mm-hmm. And I hate to draw a comp to a guy that, well, they went to the same school. George Kittle wasn't a great blocker to begin with either. And I don't know that he's ever been as good of a receiver. I think Sam Laporta will be the replacement to Travis Kelce as the best tight end in the league. And I don't think it's going to take nearly as long as some other people do.
Yep. He's a guy that just gets open, and even if he's not open, he'll find a way.
It should tell you everything you need to know. It should tell you everything you need to know that the Lions went into this offseason with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, who's been an absolute bust, and Khalif Raymond, and they went, no, we're good. We're fine with that. Mm-hmm. We have two elite targets, a deep threat, or two deep threats, and then just a couple dudes that we can sprinkle in there. We don't need an extra. We don't need to go big on that second wide receiver. We're good with the two guys we have because we feel like Laporta is really our second receiver.
It's weird. It looks a lot like the Kansas City build.
It does. We got an elite slot guy. We've got an elite tight end, and that's good enough. Everybody else will be made better by how good they are.
And a killer elite offensive line. You got a running attack that gets forgotten, but is really good. And I think they're going to have a defense to match this year.
It's going to be good. I don't know if it'll be as good as you think it is, but it will certainly be improved.
Okay. At number 23, this is a big drop in just a week.
Tyreek Hill.
From number 1 to number 23, Tyreek Hill.
In terms of receiver, is he better than Justin Jefferson?
No.
Is he better than CeeDee Lamb?
No.
Is he better than Jamar Chase?
No.
Is he better than Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No.
There you go. As you see, I did the same thing. So. I did it exactly the same way you did. By the way, I did
slower.
those. My no got less emphatic every single time. Tyreek Hill is freakishly fast. Mm-hmm. There are also very specific things that he can do.
Yeah.
He's out of this world with the ball in his hand. He's also reasonably small, and it really helps that he's played with Pat Mahomes and then played in Miami with the other fastest receiver in the NFL on the other side. Mm-hmm. I don't think he can go out and consistently beat one-on-one coverage the same way that the other four can. It's not a slight, but the fact he was number 1 on the NFL players list is top 5 dumbest thing I've ever heard somebody say out loud.
I still think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he is probably, guys revere him as the best athlete in the league. Mm-hmm. So fast. He's so cool on social media, and all. A lot of it just drives into the personality.
And a lot of it has to do with the fact he's gone 1,700 yards two years in a row.
Absolutely.
In a gimmicky, pass-happy offense that inflates your numbers. That doesn't mean he's better than the others. If Justin Jefferson played for the Miami Dolphins, I swear to you he'd have 2,500 yards. Mm-hmm. He doesn't. So that props up the stats of Tyreek Hill. If any of those 4 guys that I just said were offered straight up for 1 year for Tyreek Hill, would any of their teams do it? No.
No.
They're all younger. I get it. It's not an apples-to-apples comparison. Tyreek Hill's a great first ballot Hall of Fame player. He ain't the best player in this league. He's not even close to the best player in this league. Doesn't mean he's not good.
Let's go to number... Oh, yep. Let's go to number 22.
Roquan
Baltimore
Smith.
Ravens. He a dog. We all know it. And he's one of those guys that when he's on the field, your quarterback better be shaking.
Roquan just can do things. There's only one other linebacker in the league, and it's the only one that's rated above him, that can do as many things as he can. He's a freak athlete. Freak athlete. The only difference for me between him and the other one is the other one's a better pass rusher than he is. It's easy to forget this, but Roquan is actually a pretty short guy. But in terms of coverage linebacker, he's as good as we have in this league. He's really good against the run. And he's just a matchup nightmare.
That he is at number 22. Let's go to the defensive line of the New York Jets at number 21.
Quinnen Williams.
You guys have taken care of him for a while. He's all well paid, fat and sassy on one of the best defenses in the league.
He is as good of a pass rushing defensive tackle as we have in this league. How many defensive tackles in the NFL last year finished with a better run grade than Quinnen Williams?
None.
Oh, it's 0? It's exactly 0.
Mm-hmm.
The only knock that I've heard so far of people against Quinnen Williams is that he doesn't play the percentage of snaps that some of these other guys do. Nobody in this system does. It's the way it works. Yeah, these guys are more rested because they only play 75 and he's on the high side. Some of those other Jet starters play in the 60s. Bryce Huff was in the high 40s. It's just the way the defense works. And now you've got him and Jermaine Johnson on the right side of that line for the next 10 years with Quincy Williams and C.J. Mosley behind them. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, and I didn't even mention you have 3 of the best 12 corners in the NFL. I love looking at my team. I love when we get to Jet things and I just look at the defense and go, that's good. That makes me happy.
And it only got better from last year. I mean, if you can actually get Hassan Reddick on the field, you get that figured out, then yeah, we're going to be on our way to the name.
Quinnen's the star of the defense.
Don't have one of those. Yep, he is.
He's the star of the defense. It's him and one other guy that he's not going to come up for a minute.
It's got just a few spots before we get to the last defensive jet on the list, or I guess the last jet on the list. Number 20,
Nick Bosa.
Question is always going to be, is this the year that San Francisco can take advantage? And the window gets smaller and smaller every year. Not because of him, but because of what else comes around him.
Well, the thing about Nick Bosa for me is when you watch him just on film, and you also have to remember, he's only 26 years old. When you watch him on film, he is an absolute wrecking ball sometimes. Then there are other times where you go, where did he go? For me, there's just a difference between him and the 2 best pass rushers in this league. He had one 18.5 sack year. He had one 15.5 sack year. Other than that, he's lived in the 10 range. That's really, really good. It ain't elite. And I've never been able to quite pinpoint why it is that he gets taken out of games so often. He just can't consistently get home, even with the talent on the line. And now you go into a year, if he can shut us up, I say detractors. It's not really that I'm a detractor. It's just I feel like he gets inflated a little bit because of his name. He and his brother both. His brother's not on this list. Didn't even think about him for a 1/10 of a second.
Right.
Because I've always felt like he was a little inflated. Now it's almost to me that Nick gets the same treatment of he is inflated because of his brother. He's a great player. He's not as consistently game-wrecking as the other 2 that are left on this list. Good, not great run defender, and he's really just a see-ball, get-ball pass rusher. I just would expect a little bit more production consistently out of a guy that's as good as he is. Because talent-wise, I think he is as good as the other 2. He's just not he doesn't jump off film as consistently as the other 2.
Yep. One of our favorite NFL darlings comes in at number 19 on the list.
Amon-Ra St. Brown. The great Jeremy Find of forever, of for always. Hey, why do you talk about that so much? Hey, name me another draft analyst that's ever had a guy that went in the 4th round that he had in the top 10. I'll wait.
Yep.
Oh, it doesn't exist. That's why I talk about it so much.
Right. Last year, becoming an all-pro. And really, I mean, we knew how good he was, but I think he finally started scratching the surface, and I say finally 3 years into the league, but he started to scratch the surface of great last year.
Oh, I think he's great. I think he's as good of a receiver as we have in this league. 1,500 yards last year, 119 catches. And he had a growth last year that I'm not sure a lot of people realized. How many snaps did he play in the slot last year? He played roughly 1,200 snaps total.
I'll say 800.
It was 587. He actually played 5 more snaps out wide last year than he did in the slot.
Okay.
And I credit that to Ben Johnson because that was one of the knocks on him is that he can only play out of the slot. He didn't last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what allowed that to happen? Sam Laporta. Because now I have the guy that I can line him up in the slot and he can open, or even in line, and he can open up things underneath and let Amon-Ra get deeper in cuts, let him get across the middle, let him get into a safety because it's virtually impossible for a safety to defend him. I love that this team has come back. I don't talk about the Lions as much as I talk about the Texans because I don't have a bet on the Lions to win the Super Bowl, although I probably should.
You probably should.
I probably should.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see a path that those are the two teams playing each other in the Super Bowl.
Which, yes, you probably should go ahead and put something down.
Oh, yeah, just because I really don't want to be angry if the Lions win the Super Bowl because I really want them to.
You'd just be angry that you didn't hit on your Texans bet.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Probably should hedge that.
Yes. At number 18 on the Flostradamus Sportsocracy NFL Top 100 for 2024, quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals,
Joseph Macaulay Culkin Burrow III. First of all, dye your hair back, bro, because that is a bad look.
Yeah, no one should do the bleach blonde dye.
That
job
went out in
these
1999. That's one of the things that got left in the 90s that should have stayed in the 90s.
Yes.
We bring back MySpace, you can keep frosted tips, okay? We don't need that.
We didn't even have MySpace back then.
Oh, yeah. That was in the beginning.
I was going to say, we didn't. Hell, I didn't even own a computer back in those days.
Oh, I did. And we got our internet from a CD that came in the mail.
Yes.
Tell your children that. Watch their ears bleed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Yeah, that's a thing we did. Joe Burrow, in terms of talent, is as good as we have. I think he's Pat Mahomes level talented.
Yes.
He has injury issues that Pat doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've gotten into expensive.
Yeah, that's my biggest problem with him, is that I'm just starting to become, okay, well, your best ability is your availability. And now we've had 2 major seasons eaten up by injury.
That bothers you way more than it bothers me.
Well, you should. I mean, true or false? You should be available for your team, and
he has been. He had one fluke injury behind the worst, probably the worst offensive line I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
On a team that was just flat out bad. They were the worst team in the NFL. Mm-hmm. He made it 10 games through that. And then he had a fluke elbow thing that I still don't really understand. You say injury prone, and I don't agree with that. I don't agree that he's injury prone. Now, if he'd had 2 injuries to the same knee, okay, we can talk. He's had 2 completely different sides of the body injuries.
Mm-hmm.
If you have another one, now we can start talking about injury prone.
Okay.
I think you and I define that word differently.
Yes. My threshold is if you've been hurt in more than half of the seasons you've been in the NFL, then that's injury prone.
Okay, then Joe Burrow doesn't apply because he hasn't been hurt in more than half. He's missed exactly 0 games for injury outside of those 2 years. Played 2 fully healthy years, including the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I went semantics there, but he has not been hurt in more seasons than he hasn't. It's a dead split.
Really? Didn't he miss the first year?
Missed the first year, missed the 4th year. Missed 6 games in the first one, 7 in the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't missed a game for injury outside of that.
And that's half. That's half.
You said more than half. This was exactly half. Yes, I was being semantical. To me, Lamar Jackson's injury prone. Lamar Jackson's been hurt every year he's been in the league. 6 solid years he's been hurt in every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's injury prone. But he missed less games. Okay. He missed more important games. Joe Burrow missed 6 games for 2 teams that were not going to the playoffs. The second one, without him, they probably would have made it with him. The first year, they weren't.
Right.
Lamar has missed games that mattered to playoff seeding, and yet somehow Joe Burrow's injury prone and Lamar Jackson's not. I've never understood that. That makes 0 sense to me.
I've never said that.
I didn't say it was you. I'm talking about on the whole. I hear that all the time, and it makes 0 sense.
Okay. Joe Burrow at number 18. Number 17. Another Tampa Bay Buccaneer.
I want to do 17 and 16 together because I'm going to draw a parallel between them.
Okay.
Antoine Winfield Jr. is 17.
And number 16?
Penei Sewell. These are 2 guys that play less glamour positions because right now Penei is a right tackle. I think he will be on the left side 2 or 3 years from now. Antoine Winfield is a safety. I'm not sure that they're not both the face of their franchise. Antoine has Tristan Wirfs. Penei Sewell has Aiden Hutchinson on the other side. You may not get the love. You may not be the guy that they put on the media guide, but you're the best player on this team. Mm-hmm. And if you played a little bit more of a glory position, it would certainly help. But you don't.
Yeah.
Antoine Winfield's the best safety in the NFL. Penei Sewell's the best right tackle in the NFL. And I'm not sure it's really all that close on either one.
Yep. And it's always much easier for a guy who does get the ball in his hands once in a while or can make that big splashy defensive turnover play to get more credit than an offensive lineman. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. We'll get into the top 15 when we return after this.
If you've ever thought about Botox treatment before,
Now we're clear.
might not be the first person that pops into your head, but at Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, they are dedicated to the treatment of TMJ, and they use Botox for that. Botox can also be used to treat headaches that come from people grinding their teeth or clenching their jaws when they are stressed. So if you have more questions about Botox and you want to see if it's a good option for you, check out Asheville Smiles online at AshevilleSmiles.com. World-class dental care with a hometown feel.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Shinecup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Shinecup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States.
We're back right at the top.
Are ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
A new federal rule means now through August 31st is the last chance for people that don't get tax credit subsidies for lower premiums to lock in real health insurance at lower rates for up to 3 years. If you have health insurance through the marketplace, work, or a healthcare ministry, I'm talking to you. Hummingbird Insurance is offering free consultations. No strings attached, no catch. We've worked with them for years. Get the free quote and decide for yourself. Hummingbird Insurance.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your denim. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole head and kick ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine for us here this afternoon, and warm with a slight chance for a shower or storm through this evening. High temperatures this afternoon, middle to upper 80s. Clearing skies overnight. Temperatures drop down into the mid-60s, and then go ahead and make the outdoor plans for the weekend. Should be a couple of really nice days with less humidity. Mostly sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures both afternoons reaching highs in the middle 80s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America N.A. Copyright 2024.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview, WMFX Waynesville, an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. Live from the Ingles studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM. 880 AM and 1400, the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube, live or on demand. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That gets you into the chat with us. We are still fixing the NFL Top 100 here with Flostradamus setting us straight on who should be considered the elite of the elite in the league. We're up to the top 15.
This is also our last hour of terrestrial radio.
It is.
Before we really kick off football season with all the new things.
Indeed.
A week from Monday.
We will be off next week, last vacation before the football season begins. Flostradamus and HWA making the trek to Nashville for some fun. Meanwhile, we'll just be waiting for the return on August the 19th, getting all the ducks in a row, everything lined up for the fantasy football bonanza that is going to occur when we kick back up on August the 19th.
We will also be announcing the Battle for the Belt rules and regulations at the end of this hour.
And that will be the kickoff week of college football. Week 0 will be the following weekend. That will also be the kickoff of the high school football season. So ESPN Asheville fans will have, starting that Friday night, we'll have football there. That Thursday, I've got to go down to Charlotte as Brian Hall and myself and our crew from the Buncombe County High School Football Game of the Week will be broadcasting the Panthers Stadium high school games. They're doing 2 of them on that Thursday night this year. So it's all right around the corner. And if your favorite team has not played in the NFL preseason, then they will be doing so over the next 72 hours. It's all finally here, ladies and gentlemen.
We also have breaking news.
Oh, I love breaking news. Is this the one that we've been waiting for?
Who's gonna break the news? gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
Well, it is receiver news, and it is about a team that was in the sweepstakes of the player that you're referring to.
Okay.
From Ian Rappaport, the Patriots are releasing Juju Smith-Schuster.
Oh.
Oh.
That career did not end well.
No. That you talk about the sparkler of NFL careers.
Yikes.
Oh, it started so good, and then...
Hey, is that Madden curse? Are we chalking that up to Madden curse? Because it feels like ever since he was on the cover of Madden, he didn't really do much after that.
He had what, 20? Let's see, he had 2,300 yards in the first 2 years, 14 touchdowns. Since then, he has roughly the same amount in 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right.
See if anybody actually picks him up, which I'm sure he'll get a deal somewhere, but it'll be for the vet minimum.
Mm-hmm. Making peanuts somewhere that he can try to have I guess this would be a fourth act to his career now.
I mean, did New England even really count?
Not really.
New England was an off-Broadway one-man show where he beat a pot with a wooden spoon for an hour. Juju. Boing. Juju.
Let's get back into the NFL Top 100 countdown here. Number 15 for 2024.
Jamar Chase.
What are you expecting here for this season? Just rinse and repeat? Is there going to be a shift there in Cincinnati? Do you think with the T. Higgins situation?
I don't think so.
What the future is going to be there.
Well, I mean, we know what the future is going to be. He's going to play out he's going to play out this year. Then he'll be a free agent after this year, and he'll probably move on. It just is what it is. I mean, but look, Jamar Chase has basically proven that he is as elite as they come in this league. I mean, he's played one completely full year. He had the injury in 22, missed a game last year, and he averages, he's a 1,300 yard a year receiver. And he is an absolute dynamic game breaker deep. He just needs his quarterback. Mm-hmm. He does need a competent quarterback, which Jake Browning, that was probably the nicest word I could use to describe him. With Joe Burrow, he's as good of a receiver as we have.
Yes.
And I absolutely love him this year. I know there have been some scary reports out of Bengals camp that Burrow hasn't looked exactly as in tune with everybody as you'd want him to. He's a little rusty. It's the preseason. That's why we do this. Just in the words of my quarterback, RELAX. Relax.
Jamar Chase busted onto the scene here. One of the handful of generational type wide receivers that we've had come into this league over the last few years. Number 14,
Josh Allen.
Bills. Josh Allen, Mr. Fumble, Mr. Interception, Mr. Everything is literally on my shoulders now.
Well, I mean, now everything is, and this is a great time for me to say something that I've said numerous times, that Keon Coleman is going to be a dog. But now you put all of this on Josh Allen's shoulders. Do you realize how many turnovers he has in 6 years as a starter?
What's the number? 90-something?
He's thrown 78 interceptions. Think about what I just said. Mm-hmm. 78 interceptions in 6 years is insane.
That's Brett Favre numbers.
And that doesn't even factor in the fumble numbers. If you want a point of... you know who he reminds me of? And this is going to be a little bit of a strange comparison because the other guy I'm going to say here is so much better of a pure passer. He reminds me of Peyton Manning. You know the talent's there.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, there are some times that you just got to take the punt. Peyton threw 251 interceptions. And I think that's I think that's just where Josh Allen's going to be. And the bad thing is that you have a guy that plays at the same time that throws so many drastically less interceptions. For Peyton, it was Brady. And for Josh Allen, it's Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to turn the ball over when you do things at an elite level because you just try to do things that other people don't.
I think that's the thing that scares me most about this is that he's already known for that gunslinger mentality, that no risk it, no biscuit kind of a mindset, right? He talked all season long last year after bad games about pressing and doing too much. I'm trying to do too much. I'm pushing, and therefore I'm making mistakes, and I've just got to stop doing that. Well, at some point, yes, you have to stop doing that, and it's going to be worse. I think it's going to be worse. I will not be shocked if he puts up 25 interceptions this year.
I will be shocked if he goes that high. I'll be shocked if he goes that high.
Last year.
Yeah, 25 is a big jump.
It is. It is.
If you had to take a guess at the 5 players that have turned the ball over the most in the last 5 years, Josh Allen's obviously number one, and he's number one by quite a bit.
Yes.
He has 88 turnovers. How many of the other top 5 can you name? One of them is really funny.
I would probably say Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is 6.
Is Jameis still on the list, despite the fact that he hasn't played in 2 years?
No, he's 23rd. He had 30 in that 1 year. He has 47 in the last 5 years.
Okay. I don't know. Who else is on the list?
Jared Goff is 2 with 79.
Really?
Baker Mayfield is 3rd with 73. Derek Carr has 72. Matt Ryan is 5. He only played 4 of those years? He's 5 and only played 4 of the 5 years we're talking about.
Right. And I don't even remember him having that many in Indianapolis that last year. Am I wrong about that?
He threw a few. I think he had 13. I remember he had almost the same number of interceptions he had touchdowns.
Okay.
Yeah, he had 14 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
Okay. That was a rough 4 years, though.
Yeah, wasn't good. Weren't no fun.
Yeah.
To me, this is the year where Josh Allen either cements himself as the elite of the elite, or we're going to start to look at him in a slightly different light of, man, you need a number one receiver. You need a lot of help.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and I don't know,
Keon Coleman. I'm just going to keep saying that.
Sure. You can be super excited, and Josh will make him look as good as he can possibly be. The problem is I don't think he is good enough to carry a team without the no doubt star. And Keon's not that yet. He could develop into that at some point. But I can't expect that out of him rookie season.
You expect what you want to.
I'll
tell you this. In fantasy football, when we start talking about this a week from now, I'm going to say that name a lot.
I mean, do you think he has that kind of like wide receiver 1 upside year 1?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's high hopes. I like it. Josh Allen, to me, he had a lot of questions before Stephon Diggs. And I get that was just the first 2 years of his career. But still, we had a lot of questions about him then. The questions continued to linger with Stephon Diggs there. He was still putting up the numbers. They were still winning a bunch of games, but they weren't getting it done in the playoffs. And now you take that star away, and I don't think he can do it by himself.
I always hate that narrative that, we had all these questions. That people make it sound like Josh Allen was just some bum until Stephon Diggs showed up. He still took that team to 10-6.
Sure. But he
didn't complete 60% of his passes, but he ran more.
Mm-hmm.
And he and actually statistically he didn't run more. He ran less. He wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. I think he will be fine. It's just a question of how many of those interceptions, how many of those balls that Stephon Diggs would have found a way to catch are going to bounce off somebody's hands. And now the interception number goes up, even though Josh Allen didn't really do anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I wasn't trying to say that he was trash to start out his career or anything.
I wasn't necessarily saying you were. I just hear that narrative a lot.
I get it, and I'm just trying to smooth over that a little bit more. Of, I don't think too many people thought he was trash. It was just that. Well, he was one of the more inaccurate quarterbacks in the league.
He was being called a bust routinely.
Yeah, and shocker of shockers, when you had a legit guy show up to throw to, that all changed. We saw him take that third-year jump. Everything looked better. And then it went well, right? It went well while he was there.
He had one of the biggest second to third-year jumps in NFL history.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's he may just be a guy that needs to have that. And I worry for him and that team and that fan base without him this year. It'll be the last time they make that mistake. But because I could fully see next year they'll go all in and get T. Higgins. And then what? They're right back we're right back to saying, oh God, they're a threat again. But I don't think they are this year. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Josh Allen at number 14 on the Sportsocracy NFL Top 100. We continue with a linebacker after this.
Hey, if you're listening to me right,
clear.
Every business.
Yeah, we got to speed up. We spent way too long on Josh Allen right there.
We swipe and scroll past stuff all day, but when we're driving, cooking, working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Call 844-ADD-HELP-5.
We got to get through 9 in this segment.
HELP-5.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics
Yeah, that'll be easy. All these dudes are trash anyway.
system and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with a little tip for a healthier planet. Cutting things close this summer? Try raising the blade on your lawnmower to let longer blades of grass shade each other. This shade reduces evaporation, cuts down on weeds, and means less time and money spent watering your lawn. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, visit iHeartRadio.com/earth.
Cole Hooker wins gold! He upsets the favourites!
The moments have been magical.
The USA are climbing back up the mountain.
The 2024 Paris Olympics are in the final days, and you can listen to all of NBC's live play-by-play coverage on the free iHeart app, including the closing ceremonies. Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Legends made.
Simone Biles, all-around champ.
Soon, the flame will be passed to us for the summer of 2028 in Los Angeles. Open the free iHeart app now and search Olympics.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And we're back in the Sportsocracy, the NFL Top 100. We're up to number 13, Jeremy.
It's my favorite number. Fred Warner, linebacker, San Francisco 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the next three guys all kind of have something in common. And it's that you're just... You play the position that you play in so much different of a way than we've ever really seen anybody else do it that you're really hard to quantify. Mm-hmm. I mean, Fred Warner, I don't have a whole lot of comps to him, and it's just because he's different. I think he's as good of a linebacker as we've seen in... I keep wanting to say Patrick Willis. I think he's better than Patrick Willis.
Okay.
Do you agree with that?
Sure. Yeah.
There's no blip to Fred Warner.
Yeah.
He's good against the run. He's a good pass rusher. He's great in coverage. There's no hole in his game.
Right. And he's a dog when he's on the field, and he's always on the field. One game. He's missed one game since 2018, since he came into the league. 3-time first-team All-Pro. Well on his way to being recognized as one of the greatest.
And he plays a ton of snaps, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, has not had a season where he's had fewer than 120 tackles? No, he had 118 one year. Loser.
He's a special player. There were a lot of teams that thought he was too thin to play linebacker in the NFL. How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, I think he settled that. Number 12.
I want to do 12 and 11 together because to me they're practically the same guy.
All right, number 12 is
Max Crosby.
And number 11?
TJ Watt.
Are they that close together?
In terms of talent, absolutely. They're both just He-Man with the difference is one of them stands up and one of them doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolute game wreckers. I've already seen the injury issues with TJ Watt. I'm hoping that we never see that with Max Crosby because he plays with Max Crosby is one of those guys that plays. It almost kind of reminds me of Bill Romanowski of you don't really care much about yourself, do you? You know, this is going to hurt, and you don't really seem to care. They're both phenomenal and just gigantic human beings. They don't necessarily have the athletic gifts of the other two pass rushers on this list, but, man, they just work. And work and work and work. And their arms get bigger and bigger and bigger. And they get scarier and scarier and scarier. Every year.
There's very few guys in the history of the NFL that I believe can say that they have finished in the top 3 of Player of the Year 4 times in their career. TJ Watt finished 3rd in 2019, 2nd in 2020 and last year, and, of course, won Defensive Player of the year that he had 22.5 sacks in 2021. So 4 of the last 5 years, TJ Watt has been at the top of the Defensive Player of the Year ballot for damn near every voter. That's a stretch of dominance that is unrivaled in this league. And he comes in at number 11.
TJ Watt's played 7 years. He's already in the top 70 most sacks all time. And if he plays a full year this year, I would say there's a great chance he'll already be in the top 35.
Yep. 96.5 for his career so far.
He's going to challenge that top 5. Julius Peppers, Kevin Greene, Deacon Jones, Reggie White, Bruce Smith. Mm-hmm. I don't know that he can get to 200. I think that might be a lofty expectation. The injuries and just the way he plays.
Right.
But he's going to threaten the top 5.
Well, and he's already 30. Or almost 30. He'll be 30 in October.
Yes.
So can he put up another 6 years of solid output like this? That'll be fun to watch.
And for those that are asking, why is Max Crosby so close? Max Crosby's 3 full years younger than TJ Watt. And he didn't come in as a first-round pick. Mm-hmm. This dude came in as an old rookie, as a mid-round pick, made his way that quickly, and is really just now finding his stride. Oh, and by the way, they did just add one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Throwing that out there.
That they did. Let's go to number 10.
Chris Jones. You're out of this world at something when you can be a top 10 player in the NFL and you really only do one thing really well. But, man, that one thing he does well. Mm-hmm. He's as good. He and Aaron Donald are the 2 best interior pass rushers I've ever seen. And Jones does it from a natural defensive tackle position, not 3-4 defensive end. He plays out on the outside. The versatility is just insane.
Mm-hmm. 6'6", 310 pounds, and he can get around some offensive linemen.
Oh,
when he's out on the edge in that what do they still call it, the NASCAR package? That Steve Spagnuolo.
I don't know the answer to that. I know he's called it that in the past.
Right. I know he called it that when he was in New York. But I don't know if it still has that moniker. But still goes to say, as a defensive tackle, 26 sacks in the last 2 seasons for Chris Jones, and he just got paid.
And he's just now 30 years old.
Mm-hmm. So still plenty of time to do damage in this league. At number 9,
my guy, Sauce Gardner.
The guy's an absolute freak. Came in and immediately shot right up to number 1 as far as shutdown corners.
He had a pass breakup against Washington yesterday. I actually, in one of the breaks earlier today, I saw the comment from Jaden Daniels. It was Sauce knocked the pass down. The receiver was open until he wasn't. Mm-hmm. And Jaden Daniels said, that'd have been a completion against any other corner in the NFL. Not you, and I thought it was intercepted halfway out of my hand. Mm-hmm. Because how quickly you broke on that ball, I went, oh my. That's a speed that I'm not used to. He's as good of a corner as I've ever seen, and I grew up with Darrelle Revis and Deion Sanders. So my bar is pretty high.
Number 4 overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Apparently he's a fan of Jaden Daniels, too.
He was. Yeah, he said he's going to be a dude.
I did not see this until just now, but apparently Sauce made it a point to go out and seek Jaden Daniels while they were doing joint practices and tell him, you're going to be really good in this league. Just stay on the path, my friend.
Sauce has a very old soul that I'm really fond of. He's done that. He did that last year with Bryce Young too, and made a point to tell media guys that too.
Right.
Of you might be railing on this guy because he didn't have a good day. He's going to be really good in this league.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't wax poetic about Bryce Young the way he did about Jaden Daniels though.
But I think it's cool to see a kid, and I'll call him a kid because, I mean,
because
like
he is.
He's only been in the league for 2 years, and he's 23.
24. He'll be 24. Well, he'll be 24 at the end of the month.
Okay, so not quite 24 years old, but to be able to have the, I mean, some people may call it arrogance, right? But to have the ability to go to dudes that are older than you and tell them that they're going to be pretty good at this football thing is kind of funny. Obviously, AP first team, both of his years in the NFL, and the ceiling is, I mean, out of sight.
He's the best corner in the league, and I'm not sure it's even
said.
close.
Right, I was going to say, as Jeremy said, he's probably the best one he's ever seen, and he grew up with Darrell Revis.
And Deion Sanders.
I don't know that he's wrong.
I got a high bar for corners, and Sauce has passed it with flying colors.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll have the top 8 for you in the NFL Top 100 for 2024 coming up after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Mix of clouds and sunshine for us here this afternoon, and warm with a slight chance for a shower or storm through this evening. High temperatures this afternoon, middle to upper 80s. Clearing skies overnight. Temperatures drop down into the mid-60s, and then go ahead and make the outdoor plans for the weekend. Should be a couple of really nice days with less humidity. Mostly sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures both afternoons reaching highs in the middle 80s. I'm meteorologist Ken Boone at the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
Noah Lyles' Olympics are over. The 100-meter champ and 200-meter bronze medalist says COVID will keep him out of the 4x100-meter relay. Grant Holloway has his elusive first Olympic gold in the 110-meter hurdles.
Feels great. I'm happy. I'm ecstatic. I feel relief.
The three-time world champ in the race shared the podium with U.S. teammate Daniel Roberts, who claimed the silver medal.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
Pain from arthritis is awful. Bone-on-bone constant pain. It robs you of so much of the stuff you love to do. But there are effective ways to deal with that pain, and I'm not talking about drugs or surgery. Listen, there are exciting new cellular therapies that can get you lasting relief. And the place to go? QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge treatments that accelerate your own body's healing properties, revitalizing your joints so you can move again. If you're living with chronic pain from arthritis or injury, you need to know steroids and surgery and pain pills are no longer your only option. Learn how QC Kinetics can use advanced regenerative medicine to treat the pain, enhance your joints, restore your mobility, and give you long-term relief. With no downtime, the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are ready to help you get your life back with regenerative restorative cellular treatments for your achy joints. This is the future of medicine. Call for a free consultation now in Asheville and in Greenville. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
There's a lot of talk about heroes these days.
Hey, buddy, you want to go fishing?
The folks in the funny outfits with superpowers and spandex.
All right, buddy, let me help you.
But at Ingalls, we know that a lot of our heroes
Now you look like a pro.
are a little closer to home. They're the ones who give us what we need for those everyday adventures. That's why we look up to the ones who look out for us.
Don't forget your fish food. Catch a big one.
Ingalls.
See you later, Dad.
All the ingredients for family.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
What are you people? On dope?
We are back at the Sportsocracy, here to wrap up another successful broadcasting week. The last one for another week. Final vacation before football season kicks in earnest coming up next week. Back with you on the 19th.
No more Braves days, no more short weeks. It's all football all the time.
Yes. We continue fixing the NFL Top 100 here in the Sportsocracy. In our version, the top 10 started with Chris Jones and Sauce Gardner at 9. At number 8, when he's not trying to protect his girlfriend from ISIS attacks, he's playing tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm. Nothing changes here. It's just rinse and repeat every year with Travis Kelce. As long as Patrick Mahomes is back there delivering him the ball, then he will forever be the number one tight end in the league.
He's the greatest tight end that ever lived. I'm frankly tired of even arguing it with people.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really not all that close. He'll pass Antonio Gates in terms of receiving yards all time for a tight end. He'll pass him sometime this year. I don't know exactly when. He'll probably get Jason Witten the next year. And then it's a question of, does he play long enough to catch Tony Gonzalez? Oh, I left out a part. He's 170 games behind everybody I just said. He's a little over 80 behind Antonio Gates. He's 121 behind Tony Gonzalez, 122 behind Jason Witten.
So he will pass. He's about 500 yards behind Antonio Gates. So
Yes.
let's say conservatively 6 years or 6 weeks. 6 years. 6 weeks of the season.
I'll inflate it to 8. So he will pass Antonio Gates, who is one of the best receiving tight ends of all time. In terms of yards, he will pass him in 70 less games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Antonio Gates had way more touchdowns. He had 116 touchdowns. Travis Kelce only has 74.
Right.
But, I mean, at this point, for me, it's not even worth talking about anymore. He's the greatest tight end that's ever lived. And it's only going to get better and better and better because there's still – if he wants to continue playing, we could do this for a while.
Mm-hmm.
He's 34 years old. He'll be 35 this year. I could easily see him playing 5 more years. That might be a little high.
That seems a little high.
He's not asked to block.
But,
I mean,
precisely.
It's not all that hard to keep doing this when you're never asked to block.
Mm-hmm. At number 7,
Trent Williams. Best tackle in the game, has been for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And the question becomes, how much longer can he do it?
It's a better question with him to me. I mean, because Trent Williams, he's on the – we're not just on the back nine. We're on – at the very least, we're on the 17th green headed to 18.
Oh, yeah, we're making the walk across the bridge.
I mean, he's 36 years old. He'll be 30 – or he just turned 36.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a big dude. Big dude.
Yes, he is. Is he still holding out?
Yes. He's on the did not report list.
Okay. Looking for some guaranteed money.
I feel like they'll get that done. We still have several weeks until the start of the season. We've got almost a month.
Plenty of time.
That takes one phone call and a little concession, and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm. He's got a teammate right ahead of him at number 6.
Christian McCaffrey. I hate having a running back this high, and the way that I rationale that is he's not just a running back.
No, he is a do everything. You can toss it to him out of the backfield. You can split him out wide. You can put him in the slot. You can do a lot of things with an athlete who is just good at so many things. The field vision, the hands, the shiftiness. He's got everything you could ask for.
I mean, he's going to go down in history. He's 28 now. Let's say he's got 3 more years left, which might be on the high side, but
it very well could be.
He could go down as a 10,000-yard rusher, 7,000-yard receiver, and it wouldn't shock me all that much.
Yeah.
The receiving has it's tampered off in the last handful of years. The injuries in Carolina was obviously that throttled a lot of the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember how much we focused when he was with the Panthers on the fact that he never left the field. Right, he had 99% usage rates for the first few years of his career.
Yeah, it was bad.
And the injuries were no surprise when they happened.
We used to talk about it year in and year out of you're going to break this guy if you're not careful.
Yeah. And then he goes to San Francisco for one of the best second acts I think I've ever seen. Because I had chalked him up he's just he's great when he's healthy, but he's never going to be healthy. Constantly stays hurt. Gets on the field 6 games, he's hurt again. And then he goes to San Francisco, and it's been no problem.
Well, his usage rate, in terms of as a receiver, his usage rate plummeted. But he's still pretty good.
He is very, very good. At number 5.
Jerry Jones' best friend, CeeDee Lamb.
I have no urgency to get this job.
Jerry Jones might be the dumbest human I've.
He is a moron.
To have that much money, how are you that dumb? To say that out loud, I have no urgency to get this done. You should. Because if he decides to just park his keister at home, your team is BADD bad.
Mm-hmm. Part of me feels like he should just to prove it to him.
I didn't think that was possible until Jerry opened his mouth. And then when I saw the LOL over top of that, I went, oh, he's about to tell you where to go and how to get there, and the directions are down until it gets hot.
To me, I mean, it is a close race for him to be the best wide receiver in the league, and
it's ironic you said that.
It obviously is for you as well.
It's ironic you said that way because number 4 is Justin Jefferson.
They're 1A and 1B?
Or they are for me, and they're such different receivers. Justin Jefferson is just straight up, I'm going to punch you in the mouth. I'm going to go right into your body. I'm going to go right into your face, and there is nothing you can do to stop me. I'm bigger than you. I'm faster than you. I'm stronger than you. He is the high flyer receiver. I mean, I'll tell you this the way I described Justin Jefferson on a podcast a while back. Justin Jefferson is the real life embodiment of that receiver you created in Madden like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. He's just gigantic. He's got the best hops in the league, and he never drops anything. CeeDee Lamb is not that. CeeDee can beat you that way. But where he's more terrifying is just get me the ball. And once the ball's in my hand, I'm going to make you look doofy.
And pray to God I don't get a step.
If he gets a step, he will eviscerate you. He can also run through you. And he's incredibly good at making you miss. I would make the argument that CeeDee Lamb is the best player in the league with the ball in his hands. Justin Jefferson is the best player in the league at getting the ball in his hands.
Okay.
A small difference, and a difference really without much of a delineation, because it doesn't really matter how you do it. They both do it at an incredibly high level, though.
Justin Jefferson already making the most money in the league. CD ain't far behind.
Yes, and CD, I guarantee you his agent just said, just called Jerry Jones and said, well, you might not have any urgency, but I don't have any urgency to give you any form of a hometown discount now. So just take that Justin Jefferson deal and add just a handful of dollars to it, and when you're there, you let me know. Till then, we don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, that price tag went up by a few million after that statement from Jerry Jones. Would have for me, anyway. Justin Jefferson at 4.
I'm
CeeDee
Richard
Lamb.
Petty, so you know it would have gone up for me.
Oh, no doubt.
I'm not just going to beat Double J at this point. I'm going to need you to step out in that Jeff Jarrett outfit to pay me.
Yeah. You'd have gone full Caleb Williams. I need part of this team. You're going to have to give me ownership to get me to stay. Justin Jefferson at 4. Number 3.
Myles Garrett.
The most terrifying man in the league.
Is he, though?
He is.
He was.
To me, he's more physically imposing than the guy you're talking about.
Well, that's number 2, Micah Parsons.
Yep.
I agree with you that in terms of just full-on street fight, Myles Garrett's the one I would want on my team.
Yeah.
Hyper athletic, just a BDD, and he can beat you a lot of different ways. Micah Parsons is unlike anything I've ever seen. I went back after our trip to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I watched Lawrence Taylor film and Derek Thomas film, and I realized why I'm so high on Micah Parsons, because he's a hybrid of the two of them. Micah Parsons may end up going down as the most physically gifted defensive player that's ever lived.
Mm-hmm.
I've just never seen a guy that can do all of the things he can do. He can stand up. He can put his hand in the dirt. He can rush you from absolutely anywhere. And look, this is not diminishing Myles Garrett in any way. I'm going to be honest with you. This was the longest battle I had of setting this top 100. Was which one am I putting second and which one am I putting third?
Mm-hmm.
I know who it's going to be. The question is, which one is which? I will be intrigued with Parsons this year to see if Mike Zimmer gets back to doing some of the things that they did his first couple years in the league. I mean, look, he played 800 of his 9 and some change snaps with his hand in the dirt last year. I don't think that's happening again.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. I think you're going to see him move all around the formation. And I look at the way the roster's built, and that's part of the reason that I say that way. I think you're going to see him lined up a lot of different ways. Now, Myles Garrett is the best pass rusher in the NFL. He holds up really well against the run. The difference for me is the versatility.
Again, that's why I say Myles Garrett is the most terrifying man physically in the NFL. When it comes to, I mean, I would not want to be tasked with trying to block either one of them.
No.
If I had a prayer at blocking one of them, I think Myles would be a smidge easier.
I don't. And that actually,
Really?
It's funny you said that way because that's exactly what I got to. Myles Garrett is a big freak of nature. 6'4", 270 pounds, 4'6", 40. I mean, it wouldn't take all the fingers on one hand to find the number of people on this earth that you can say that about.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked at Micah Parsons at 6'3", 245. He's an inch shorter, 25 pounds lighter, and runs somewhere in the mid to high 4.3s. Mm-hmm. That's not of earth. That's like you were made in a lab somewhere, and they broke the mold of we're never going to see another guy like this.
Yeah. This is a little harder to keep track of.
Well, he can go through you. He can go around you. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And once I threw on that Derek Thomas tape, I sat in the very chair that I'm sitting in right now, stared at the television sitting right in front of me. And the more I watched Derek Thomas, who is probably my favorite player in NFL history, I couldn't stop thinking, my God, he looks exactly like Micah Parsons. That's exactly what I see when Dallas plays in those 4:05 windows on Fox every week.
Mm-hmm.
And Micah still has growing left to do.
And that brings us to number 1.
It's Pat Mahomes, and anybody else, you're wrong. I mean, I can't even figure out what the rationale of putting anybody else here would be. Can you?
No.
I mean, you can't even play devil's advocate on.
Unless you're doing that thing that, we talk about all the time with like MVP votes and such. Like, well, we gave it to him last year, so we're not going to do that this year. That's the only way that I would ever consider not voting for Patrick Mahomes as the best player in this league, is if I'd already done it 7 years in a row and went, you know what, this year I'm going to give it to Micah.
All right, let me ask you just a fun question.
Mm-hmm.
I've told you time and time again that quarterback win-loss record is a quarterback stat.
Yes, it is.
How many quarterbacks in NFL history that played more than 50 games have a higher winning percentage than Pat Mahomes?
Probably none.
Otto Graham, who played when helmets were made out of old footballs,
right?
And Daryl LaMonica.
That's it.
That's it.
74-22 in his career.
That's in the regular season.
Yeah, that is regular season stat only.
He's 0.02 of a percentage point better than Tom Brady. He's 0.06 of a percentage point better than Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing. I have no explanation for anybody that would put him anywhere else because it just flat out doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It doesn't matter who the receivers are. It doesn't matter who the running back is. It doesn't matter how good the defense is. None of it matters.
I think, was it in our chat yesterday? I think somebody said something, I don't remember what the discussion was about, but the topic of dynasties got brought up. And somebody said, well, that's why we don't have dynasties in the NFL anymore. No, we do, and we're in the middle of one.
Yeah, we just got done with one, and we slid right into another one.
Right. The Kansas City Chiefs have made the AFC Championship game 6 years in a row. And have made the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. Era. Right. 4 years in a row this team's been in the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
He's that dude. And he is the best player in the NFL. Mm-hmm. There are two kinds of lists like this. Lists that have Pat Mahomes at 1 and lists that are wrong.
I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, we've done it. We've fixed the NFL Top 100 in just a shade under 4 days as well.
It only took us 9 hours to put it out. Let's go.
I feel like that is yeoman's work on our part. It's also yeoman's work on your part, having to slog through the summer with us as we try to make our way to the start of the NFL season, and it will be here before you know it.
It will be.
Preseason is fully underway now. Full slate of games this weekend. And then we will be back with you on August the 19th.
But before we get out of here, we have to tell you, Battle for the Belt is returning for its third season.
Yes.
We will be having our fantasy football kickoff party, the draft extravaganza at the Village Porch on September the 1st. That is Sunday, September 1st. Tank and I will be in Atlanta for Georgia Clemson. We will be back Sunday morning, and we will be at the Village Porch all day doing fantasy football things. We're going to broadcast from there, do some YouTube Live stuff. We're going to have a listener show league that we will be filling the week we come back. We will tell you how to do that when we come back. And Battle for the Belt's coming back. Well, we asked, how could we make this better? And one of the things that we were told last year is that if you come in week 7, it's really hard to justify doing it because you're so far behind. So we tried to fix that the best way humanly possible. This year, you can buy all of your entries at one time. We will explain how to do that down it'll be up on social media over the course of the week. We will have 14 weeks of head-to-head, one-on-one DraftKings DFS. You win a week, you're into the finals. Finals are week 15, 16, 17. You win a week, you're in. It's a $5 entry every week, or you can buy all 14 of your entries for $50. Proceeds go into Eblin Charities, just like they have the whole time we've done this. Mm-hmm. Now, here's the difference. Every week, we will do a 50-50. Half the money will go into the Eblin pool. Half the money will go into the winner pool. Winner takes all. So however many people go in it, there could be a sizable amount to the winner every single week. And then the season-long winner that wins in the playoffs will still get our belt. And yes, I reiterate again, the Eliminator has died a gruesome, gruesome death. That was a fun idea that I hated really soon after I came up with it.
Be sure to follow the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias, helpfully at the Sportsocracy. Check us out at thesportsocracy.com as well. We will be back with you in 1 week. August the 19th, we return from vacation for all of your fantasy tips to win your leagues this year. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the week, and we will see you in a week. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
Hey there. Gerber Life would like...
And we're clear.
Importance of guaranteed life insurance.
10-4.
No, thank you.
I get it. Nobody likes to think about life insurance because it means having to think about the end of... So I'll make this short and sweet. If you're 50 plus or 50 to 75 in New York, you can apply for Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance with guaranteed acceptance regardless of your health. Guaranteed acceptance means you don't need a medical exam. In fact, you don't even have to fill out a health questionnaire. For a free quote, just call 888-532-5016. Then, when that thing you don't want to think about does eventually happen, and you know it will,
I'm not listening.
Your family can use the insurance money to help cover the cost of your final expenses, or anything else. Now that's worth thinking about. Gerber Life Guaranteed Life Insurance. For a free quote, call 888-532-5016 today.
Attention drivers, Ingalls Markets is hiring experienced CDLA holders for our local fleet. As an Ingalls driver, you start earning paid time off on day 1. Our local drivers earn an average salary of $75,000 a year, but that's not all. You'll also enjoy great benefits like medical, dental, and vision insurance, plus a 401k with company matching and weekly pay. If you have a year or more of driving experience, apply online today at inglescareers.com. That's inglescareers.com.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Fort Hendersonville, and I'm so excited to introduce our first Parks Promise community hero,